Good morning, I am John. Today is Friday, November 18, 2022. And despite how it may look, though I am up and dressed and working, I don't have a job. I was laid off a couple of weeks ago. And in these vlogs, I am documenting my progress of trying to turn my part-time hobby of content creation into a full-time job. And it's been an adventure. So, something I have noticed that I'll talk about later in the video is that the way I think, though a lot of my emotions have calmed, the way I think about work is still not fixed. So let's move ahead with our updates, and we'll get into that in just a second. Yesterday was a pretty busy day. I got a lot done. I did tape with a monetary mixtape yesterday morning, right after I spoke to you. That's probably going to come out next week sometime, I think. Something like that. I'll let you know when it comes out if you want to hear me ramble with some nice people about finances and Christmas toys. I got another of those short videos out. I call them short videos. They're 5 or 6 minutes. They're standard videos, but short to do, quick to do actually, where I turn around and grab something off of my shelf from behind me. And I've got to tell you, I didn't put a lot of stock in those videos. So you guys like Mike and Udo Clay and Chad and people who told me like, man, show the stuff on the set behind you. I'm like, nobody cares. But they're not getting huge views yet, but I get a lot of engagement from people going, oh, I like these little personal history stories. Keep doing it. And I never pictured that as being a viable type of piece of content to create, because I always assume people want a super generic clinical analysis of, a documentary. This thing was produced by this year, by this company, and that kind of thing. But it sounds like people kind of want more of a little bit of the personal spin on stuff. And so, on those, I'm kind of toning down the being on. I'm editing it less aggressively and just kind of doing it real casual, and it's starting to resonate. I mean, it's not like getting out there to lots of people. It's not growing a lot, but it's creating traffic and it's creating awareness. So it's and they're really good to do in a pinch because, as I said, they don't take a lot of time to do. They're quite simple. But good ideas, everyone. You're helping a lot already. Then in the evening, I recorded with the 1980s Now show with Kat and Will. That's going to come out on Monday. I think Monday is that right? Yeah, it's coming Monday. That's right. Or not. Soon. It's coming out soon. I think it is. Over on GenXGrownUp, I mentioned yesterday, our subscriber count crossed another 100 barrier, so we're up to 17,500. Now I'd love to come back tomorrow and tell you it's another 100. It's 17.6 now, 17.7 now. We're not at that stage yet. Historically, we were getting 10 subscribers a day on average, and lately it's been higher. It's been more like 15 or so. So there's like an increase of 50% or so, but it's too early to say that's a result of the effort I've been putting in, because honestly, it ebbs and flows all the time. The good news is we're going into the holiday season, which historically has been really good traffic on YouTube. Views and subscribers and things tend to spike around the holidays. In large part, I'm sure it's because I cover a lot of toys and stuff, and people find and get the toys, and they go look for videos on it, like we all do. Today, let's talk about today. So today is kind of a getting ready for the weekend a little bit, I think. I also completed another podcast for next Thursday, and I'm editing a bonus podcast. I didn't talk about that. So I'm going to finish editing that bonus podcast. Finish working on it. I don't know if I'm going to complete it. It's not for a couple weeks yet. Get that work done. I just interjected a thought that I had that had no context whatever, and you're watching, what the hell? He just went off. What's he talking about? Let me rewind. The last thing for today is I need to work on another podcast that's a bonus that comes out in a couple of weeks. But I'm trying to get it done ahead of time so I'm not under the gun. Okay, now, got that. Okay, so once that's done, work on the video for today, of course. I'll get that underway shortly. Tonight is a live stream. We're going to do that Atari 50th anniversary celebration. Had an evolution of, look, even if you're an Atari nut or a video game nut, you know what combat is, right? The two little tanks that you drove around and you and your buddy shot at each other. It's just so much fun. A simple, boring, looking game, but one that just anyway. So in this thing, they have an evolution of combat called Quadra Tank, which is 4 people simultaneously fighting on this arena, just little tanks, just like old Atari, but updated graphics. And anyway, we're gonna do a live stream where all 3 of us, myself, Mo, and George, all together playing the game in real time with our cameras on the screen. A lot of people said they love when we all get together and trash talk each other, and we're gonna all be together on screen live tonight. Plus it's Quadra Tank, so we'll have a guest. One of our longtime patrons is gonna join us as our number 4. That's gonna be a lot of fun. That's gonna be tonight at 7:30 Eastern. If you get a chance to pop in and watch a little bit or join or just throw us a thumbs up, much appreciated. If you get a chance to attend, I know you're gonna enjoy it because those are always fun. And then I gotta prep for a trip to Tallahassee tomorrow. I'm driving over to the GenXGrownUp West office and visiting George for a day and kind of helping him organize and set up his studio that he recently reclaimed from his son moving out of his house. He's kind of got the paint and tables up now, and he's asked me to come over and kind of help him, just get it ergonomically set up to make it easy to be productive. So I'm gonna drive over there, and it's always fun to go and see George, so that's gonna be nice. So that's going to be my day, and now let's talk a little bit about what I alluded to at the beginning. How I told you that I'm kind of the emotions of being laid off are certainly they're not as intense as they were. They're fading. And it wasn't like a big personal thing. Like I didn't feel. I didn't feel mad that like you singled me out. Like I think I mentioned in one of these earlier vlogs. I can look at the class of November 2022 who got laid off of that old company, and a lot of amazing, talented people were in there, and me on that list of people. So it's not like, they're like, oh, we don't like that guy or he does garbage work. It's like, it was like 20% across the board, and, somebody had to go. So the emotional thing, it's not over, it comes and goes, and I'll probably be on here tomorrow crying about it, I don't know, but at the moment it seems fine. The thing I wanted to talk about though is the way I find that my brain is still operating. So if you spend, and this is probably gonna be one of those things that resonates with other folks that have had this experience or are going through this experience now, but I'm like if my brain is a filing cabinet, and you have a drawer for family and friends, and a drawer for leisure activities, and and they have a drawer for work. And every now and then, you peek in those drawers and see what's going on. Well, in my mind, my brain is still occasionally opening up the work drawer and thinking, if I'm out running errands, I'll go, oh, I should check my work mail and find out if I don't need to do that, or I'll remember old deadlines that. Oh, this had a deadline by early December. We should have a couple. Now that's not my problem anymore. Like, now I'm thinking about my friends, of course, who they're still dealing with that deadline with a reduced workforce, and who knows what's happening. But we were on a team together, and their deadline was my deadline. We were reading it together, and so it's still like there's a clock in my head going, something's happening on December 9th. We had a bunch of features to deliver for someone, and now I'm like, oh, no, we don't, or I don't. We do, but I'm not part of we anymore, So, and you might think that the fact that, like, John, didn't you just fill that drawer with content creation? I'm like, no, because I already have a drawer for content creation. It just got bigger. That the work drawer I was doing those things in parallel before, on a much smaller scale. But now that I don't have work to answer to or deal with, that hasn't, it's still part of the algorithm. Like my brain goes through, remember to breathe, make sure the heart beats, blink the eyes, think about work. Like there's things that my head does automatically, and I got to retrain it to not think about like stuff that, and it's not that I'm mad that I thought about it, it's just like, it's like a waste of CPU cycles, It's like, why? Am I asleep and dreaming about this stuff too? Probably, I don't know. But I just still find myself, and we've talked about how losing your job is like any other kind of loss. If you've lost anyone close to you, you have a similar thing. I know I have in the past, where you forget that person is gone if someone passes away, right? You think, Oh, I can't wait to tell such and such about, oh no, I can't do that. It's gone. I mean, that's a much sadder situation, but it's a similar in, I think, how our brains are wired. We get accustomed to patterns, and I'm a very systematic and, checklist driven kind of person, so I'm sure my brain works that way, and I just can't check that box. I can't process it because my brain is just still thinking about work when it shouldn't. Like, stop wasting that time, I guess I'd be curious to know if that's something that other people have experienced, or when does that go away, or I guess maybe if you go right into another job, you just refill that drawer with something new and you forget that sooner. But I think maybe the problem is I don't have anything to fill it with, and so it's just kind of this vacuum that's trying to suck in my thinking. So maybe that's the case. I think it's time for me to get busy today. I thank you so much for watching the vlog, especially for watching today. If you watch every day, I love you so much for doing that. Thank you. I hope that you have a fantastic day and you take excellent care of yourself, and I will talk to you briefly tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.